Hey folks, hang on. Welcome to another episode of Cook with Sid. So, how are you all doing today? What we're going to be cooking is Greek Beef Stifado. So, let me just move that off the stove a minute and just tilt you down, see if you can see that there. Right, so what I've done, I've gone ahead and I've browned about, I don't know if you can see that, I've browned about, it's 900 grams, 800 grams of lean rump steak. So I've just browned that off in batches. I've set that aside. And then what I've got in the pot is, just let me show you, just bring you a bit closer, remove them bay leaves that I've just taken off. I'll show you into that pot. Sorry, it's a bit wobbly. Just get, whoa, don't spill all that. Right, can you see in that pot, folks? What we have here is some shallots, which I've browned off. I've browned this off. These take about 15-20 minutes to brown off. So I've browned off all them shallots, and I just used when I took the rump steak out, see all this fond that's left on the bottom of the pot. So I've just browned it in that. So they're getting nice and soft. So the next thing we want to do is I want to add this beef back into that pot. I'm going to just tip it all in. I'm going to put all the juices and everything back in the pot. Sorry about the plate, folks. Just want to get that all back in there. Beautiful. Right. So we'll turn that up a bit. I've got all that in there. First I had this dish in Greece in a little taverna. What was it called? Me and Liz went to this little taverna, the village taverna, and they served it with this, well, like a starter that came, and it had it was like toasted, thick sliced toasted bread, and it had cheese and tomatoes all mixed in, the cheese and tomatoes and garlic and herbs all mixed in it. It were in a little packet, like a foil packet, and you opened it up and there it was. That was the starter, but I'm not doing that today. I've not made this in a long time. Beef Stifado. It's not a cheap meal to do. Right, anyway, so we've got the beef, and what I'm going to add now is I've got 100 mils of red wine. So let's get that in there. And then I've got 50 mils of just white vinegar. So let's get that in there. Oh yeah, I can smell that now. There's my liquid, look, in the bottom. Now some of them shallots will stay whole and some of them will break up, but that's fine, that's just how it is. Right, so I want a tin of tomatoes in there, which I've just got some Valfrutta from Costco. Costco's finest tin tomatoes. Chopped tomatoes, so let's get them in there. Boosh. See, I've got all that in there. I don't like that, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put a little bit of water in there, and I'm going to try and get all that out. Just going to swill it round, and try and get it all out. It's always hard to get the last bit out, but there you go. Fairly good. So let's give that a stir. Stir that around. Oh yes, look at that now. Get that all in there. It smells good already. Miss Liz likes this. She's been doing most of the cooking recently with me having to being full time. So I thought today, while she's at work, I'll make her a special, what she likes. Right, so we want some sugar in there. How much sugar do we want? 1.5 teaspoons of just plain old regular sugar. And what that's going to do, that's going to take away some of that acidity from the vinegar. Now, where's my teaspoon? Okay, I'll just use 3 of these. 3.5 teaspoons is what I want. 1, so 1.5 teaspoons. 2 teaspoons of that in there. What else do we want? Let's have a look on my recipe. Garlic. Right, so I've got, so I can just get these in. It calls for 2 cloves, but I've gone for 4. So I've just roughly chopped it. So they're in there, they're going in. Because we like us garlic. So that's that. Allspice. Ground allspice. And we want 1.5 teaspoons. So again, half, 1.5. So that's that. Let's give that a little stir. Let's get all that incorporated. Oh yes. It's going to take a while to cook this down, so I won't. Obviously, I'm not going to film for 3 hours. Allspice, nutmeg, tomato puree. How much of that do I want? A tablespoon of tomato puree. This is the beauty of this sort of cooking. You just, once you've got everything prepared, it's just a case of, and I'm just gauging this, folks. That's probably a bit much, but. And then also what I've got is I've got one. If I can get that in there. I've got a chopped tomato, just a fresh chopped tomato. So that goes in. Come on. So that's that. Give that a stir. All that incorporated. Especially that tomato puree. All that fond that was on the bottom, it's a chefy word, that fond, all that fond is now, you can't see it, but it'll come off the bottom of the pan. There we go. And then, last but not least, I've got 3 out of the garden bay leaves, and I'll just give them a crack just to put them in there. Get that all down. And that is pretty much that. So what I want to do, I want to bring that up to a good simmer, and then I need to cook that with lid on for about 3 hours. It's about 3 hours. Oops, that's a bit all over the place. What's going on with this camera? It's a bit side-goggling. Right, folks, so that is basically beef stifado. Like I said, I did a lot of the prep work, so I didn't want you sat there watching me batch cook the rump steak and then 15-20 minutes to cook the shallots. Them shallots, let me tell you, the worst garlic's easy to peel. The skins, they just didn't want to come out. It took me about 35 minutes and had 2 bags of them, so I've done a bag and a half because I got fed up of peeling them. It took me about 35 minutes to peel them shallots. Anyway, I suppose that's a labour of love of cooking. Right folks, so that's it for this one. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, and you know, thanks for watching everybody, and have a fantastic Saturday, and I'll see you soon. Once it's done, I'll post a picture. I'm going to serve it with, I'm going to boil some new potatoes, and then I'm going to parboil them, and I'm going to slice them, and then I'm going to saute them in some garlic and herb butter to serve with this, and some green beans. So I'll post a picture of that when it's done. Thanks everybody for watching, and like I say, have a fantastic Saturday, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers folks.